Hi ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be moving on to the next step with statistics, and once we have our data, we're going to be calculating our measures of center, which are the mean, the median, and the mode. So I'm going to give the definition of all three measures of center, the mean, the median, and the mode, as well as for the range, and then today we're just going to focus on how to find the mean. So the mean, which is typically called the average, is the equal distribution of data. And to find the mean, we're going to add all the values together and then divide by the number of values that we have. We'll go through some examples so I can show you what that means and you'll see all the steps for it. The median is the middle value after a set of data has been ordered from least to greatest. And then our mode is the value that occurs the most often compared to the rest of the data. And last, that's our range here. That is not a measure of center. It's a measure of variability. It tells us how the data changes. And to find the range, it's subtracting the highest value and the lowest values. So let's go through some examples on how to find the mean. I have 5 examples here. We're going to do all 5. So the first example, this gives us information about the length of worms that were either pulled from the ground or in a bucket, and they were measured. So we want to find the mean length of the worms, or the average length of the worms. So our first step, we want to add all those values together. So we're going to add 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6 and plus 4. And that sum is 24. And then our next step, we want to divide that sum by the number of numbers. And if I count, there are 6 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to take 24 and divide it by 6, and that gives us an average or a mean of 4. All right, on to number 2. We have ages of brothers, and that's in years. So again, our first step, we want to add all those together. If you want to pause the video and add them together. All right, hopefully you added them together. I have a sum of 90 when I added them together. And then the next step, we want to take that 90 and we're going to divide it by the number of numbers. And this time we have 7 numbers here. And we are going to get a decimal value in your calculator. It's 12.8571, and it's going to go on and on. And in this case, since it goes on and on, we are going to round it to the nearest tenth. If it ends in the hundredths or thousandths place, you should leave it as is so it's an exact answer. So I'm going to round it here. It rounds up to about 12 9/10 for our mean. All right, on to number 3, the height of trees. Maybe it's the height of trees in somebody's backyard or on a street, and that's in meters. So again, we're going to add those together. And if you'd like to pause the video for a second to add them, I'm going to add the 7, 11, 9, 7, and 6. That gives a sum of 40. And then the next step, we're going to take that sum 40 and divide by the number of numbers. And I count 5 numbers here, so we're going to divide by 5. And that gives us a mean of 8. All right, number 4. We have 6, 12, 12, 16, and 24 as the sizes of bottled juice. That's in liters. So we want to add those together again. And when I add them together, I get a sum of 70. Again, the next step, we're going to take that 70 and divide by the number of values, the number of numbers, and there are 5 numbers there, and that gives us a mean of 14. Our last one here, this data here is collected from football team wins. Those are the number of games per season that they won. So again, we're going to add all those values together, and I end up with a sum of 60. And this time there are 6 values there. So we're going to divide that 60 by 6. So that gives us a mean of 10. So what does that mean? On average, the football teams won 10 games per season. If I go back to number 4, on average, each bottle of juice has 14 liters. Number 3, on average, the height of each tree is about 8 meters. Meters. Number 2, if I want to summarize it, the age of the brothers, on average, They're just under 13 years old, 12.9 years old. And for number 1, the length of the worms on average, each worm is 4 inches. All right, so I'm going to ask you to give it a try on the Google form. If you have questions, you can type them into Google Classroom, and I'll speak to you guys on the call. Have a good day. Bye-bye.